Pixar films like Toy Story and Inside Out can teach children a lot of positive things, but they're also filled with some dark messages about life, love, and the hard realities of growing up. See some of these pessimistic life lessons featured in some of the top animated films of all time. Before you do watch, click subscribe. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of any new content. Can you guess which movie is represented by these emoji? Stay tuned at the end to find out. Dreams don't always come true. Disney and Pixar films are always filled with hopes and dreams, but when you peel back a few layers, you realize that it is not always the case. Children can quickly learn that dreams do not always come true. No matter how hard you try, some dreams are just not meant to be. Take the case of Mike from Monsters, Inc. Mike had always dreamed of being a scarer, and his passion for it was also showcased in Monsters University. No matter how much he tried, though, he was always overshadowed and eventually became the assistant to the much better scarer, Sully. His dream never came true, and he dealt with the harsh reality of being second best. The same thing happened in the film Up. Carl and his wife always dreamed about visiting the location known as Paradise Falls. Sadly, Ellie passed away before the trip could ever take place. Carl eventually makes the journey himself, but it's not with his wife by his side. Children can take this lesson and learn that while it's great to have dreams, it's also important to have realistic expectations and make the best of the life that you have.
Oh. Sorry.
Girl.
We all grow up. Kids are not kids forever. It's a sad truth that many kids don't realize until they are well into middle school. Pop in a few Pixar movies and that fact will become more obvious a lot faster. The Toy Story franchise is a great example of this. Several sad moments showcase how hard growing up can be and the way it impacts children. Toy Story 3 shows the passage of time several years after Toy Story 2. Andy is headed off to college. His toys are stuffed in the bottom of a trunk and poor Bo Peep is nowhere to be found. Even Molly has already packed up her old Barbie dolls and replaced them with teenage gossip magazines. When Andy finally drives off away from Woody and the gang, it's depressing to think about how we must all grow up and move on from our toy-playing days. This point is driven home even further in the film Inside Out. Towards the end of the movie, Riley gets a big upgrade in her brain. Her emotions are no longer as simple as they once were. Feelings of fear, anger, and joy are now more layered and complicated. It can easily hit every child's heart when we have to say goodbye to the brain's form of imagination known as Bing Bong.
It's yours.
Our leaders cannot be trusted. We are taught in school and in life to respect our leaders, whether it's the principal of the school or a government leader. Sadly, sometimes our leaders cannot be trusted, and Pixar shows children signs of that reality early on. One example comes in the film Monsters, Inc. Near the climax of the film. It is revealed that the CEO of Monsters, Inc., Waternoose, is a corrupt boss that's working with Randall to develop the Scream Extractor. He's not the only bad leader revealed in Pixar films. In The Incredibles, the United States government shuts down all superheroes from saving the world and providing people with the proper services that they need. In WALL-E, the computerized robot Otto powers the ship and ultimately proves its evil motives. In Toy Story 3, Lotso Bear is the leader at Sunnyside Daycare, but his good guy front is filled with evil intentions and a mobster mentality. He bullies toys, uses Big Baby as an enforcer, and even reprograms Buzz Lightyear when the hero gets suspicious. These lessons can help kids learn to question motives and have a keen eye for corruption or other issues. People will take advantage of you. It's easy for children to trust early on. While many kids learn the powerful lesson of stranger danger, it's often the close ones that end up taking advantage of this trust. Hopefully, children can take some lessons from Pixar movies and learn that people will take advantage of you. Ratatouille is one of the best examples of this. Remy the Rat is an amazing chef with an incredible sense of smell. When he starts controlling the character of Alfredo Linguini, it's Alfredo that takes all the credit for the cooking success. The poor rat gets some scraps of food, but not much else for his cooking. Remy finally gets a little credit in the end, but it's nothing to write home about. This is a great lesson that children can learn from. People will take advantage of you, take credit for your successes, and try to write you off as a nobody. A Bug's Life is another example of this. Every year, the grasshoppers force the ants to collect food for them and then reap the rewards of their hard work. Children can learn to stand up for themselves and earn what is rightfully theirs, no matter who tries to take it away.
The world we live in belongs to the enemy.
The world is not what it seems. Children often grow up with grand illusions of the world. This includes illusions of their life, the future, and everything they know. Sadly, the real world is not what it seems. There's no magic potion that will grant you a perfect future. There is no better perfect example of this than in the original Toy Story. Throughout a majority of the film, Buzz Lightyear feels like he is a real spaceman sent to Earth on a mission. In reality, he is just another plastic toy, much like Woody, Rex, and Mr. Potato Head. Buzz's crash course with the real world comes when he attempts to fly off of a rail at Sid's house. Buzz crashes into the ground, loses an arm, and gets a true perspective on real life. Another example comes from the movie Inside Out. While the children are often filled with joy and optimism, the literal character of Joy shows that real life is not always the same case. One of the biggest lessons from Inside Out showcases that you cannot have joy without sadness. The world is filled with sadness, and it is an essential memory for the main character. In the real world, not everything is as optimistic as it seems, but it's always good to have a little hope.
Am I really that fat?
No one is unique. In the past few years, the term snowflake has been tossed around and children have been made to feel like unique individuals. If children take in the true lessons from Pixar films, then you would see that no one is truly unique. You can look at Toy Story 3 for one of the best examples of this. In a flashback scene featuring Lotso Bear, viewers see that he was left behind by his owner. After spending days traveling back home, Lotso discovers that he's been replaced by the same exact bear. A similar scene happened in Toy Story 2 when Buzz Lightyear sees the dozens and dozens of other Buzz figures inside Al's toy barn. Children are all one and the same, and the quicker that they realize this, the quicker they can conform to society. Finding Dory is another great example of this life lesson. In Finding Nemo, it looks like Dory is a unique fish, but in Finding Dory, we meet literally dozens and dozens of other fish in the same species. In Cars, Lightning McQueen learns how quickly he can be replaced on the racing circuit. Another car can easily get his spot on a racing team and take his exact paint job. Ouch.
What a great party!
Sexism is real. There are obviously a ton of young female fans in the Pixar universe. Films like Brave were directly catered toward females, and they found a lot of empowerment through characters like Merida and Dory. Despite all of this, the collection of Pixar movies showcases that sexism is still present, even in children's movies. One of the biggest examples of this comes from the infamous Bechdel test. This test showcases whether there are two named female characters in the movie, if these characters talk to each other, and if they discuss a topic unrelated to men. The results of this test showcase that only 28% of Pixar movies pass this test. This includes films like Brave and Toy Story 3. Some of the failing movies include Monsters, Inc., Ratatouille, and Cars 2. Not only do many of the films fail the Bechdel test, but there was a trend discovered with the female Pixar characters. The majority of them all have the same face shape. While male characters have all different angles, the females have a round shape that can be matched up with others. For example, Joy, Elastigirl, and Merida all have similar head shapes and chins. It's an odd animation choice and one that tries to set standards for how females should look.
Buddy?
Heroes will always let you down. Everyone dreams of meeting their hero or idol. Whether it's for a heart-to-heart, selfie, or an old-school autograph, meeting a childhood hero comes with a lot of expectations. If Pixar movies are any indication, then children should learn that heroes will constantly let you down. In the real world, people like Justin Bieber may deny you a selfie, but things were much worse for characters like Buddy Pine from The Incredibles. Pine idolized Mr. Incredible, but the hero let him down, shamed him, and eventually caused him to turn into a supervillain. In the film Up, Carl Fredricksen spends his whole life idolizing the famous explorer named Charles Muntz. When he finally meets Muntz, the name turns on Carl and attacks one of his biggest fans. Just like meeting a real athlete or celebrity, children can learn that egos are huge in the world of Hollywood. This is seen in the opening scenes of Cars when Lightning McQueen showcases his arrogant attitude to the vehicles in the town of Radiator Springs. The lesson may be disappointing, but it helps children set up realistic expectations for meeting any heroes in the future. Keep your expectations low and don't expect too much. Humans are the downfall of everything. The best part about Pixar films is the ability to showcase a story from a different perspective than a human being. In Toy Story, we see the toy's point of view. A Bug's Life follows the tale of an ant colony. WALL-E showcases the life of an advanced robot. It's fun to watch movies with these unique characters, but there is one underlying message in all of the films. Humans are the downfall of everything. In so many cases, it has been the humans that cause destruction and problems for the world. In WALL-E, Earth has been completely abandoned by the human race because of garbage, pollution, and climate change. The humans have taken over a new Starliner where they are heavily overweight and rely on modern technology. The Incredibles also showcases how the human race can cause a lot of damage and destruction. Heroes like Mr. Incredible and Frozone are constantly trying to defeat villains and even go up against giant robots created by the evil Syndrome. In Toy Story, we see human destruction on the smaller scale in the form of Sid. The evil character torments toys, destroys them, and turns them into all new creations. Kids will learn that there are far too many Sids in the world.
I'm gonna get you.
I'm gonna be your best friend. Good feelings gone.
Nowhere is safe. Pixar movies feature great adventures that take place all over the world and in multiple locations. While it's great to see the diversity of all the films, they also show children that nowhere is safe. You constantly have to live in survival mode or danger can overtake your life. Finding Nemo is the perfect example of this. Before Nemo is even born, his life is put at risk as the family nest is attacked. He becomes the only surviving member of his siblings. After he is born, Nemo deals with the dangers of humans and his father goes on a crazy trip to try and rescue his son. The dangers of ocean life can easily represent the dangers in the real world children face. Dangerous animals, criminals, and natural situations like lightning strikes are just a few things that can cause injury or death. It's nice to be naive and think of the world as a happy place, but Pixar makes it painfully aware that anything bad can happen at a moment's notice. Those same dangers are also showcased in Cars 2. The film shows Lightning McQueen and Tow Mater traveling across the world and experiencing all kinds of danger and troubles in various lands that they have encountered. Well, there you have it. What lesson do you think is the most important? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comments section below. And don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to Screen Rant on YouTube so you can stay up to date with all of our awesome videos. Oh, and the answer to our emoji quiz is... Thanks for watching.